The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
And good morning, everybody. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO FM in Jesup, 105.5 on your FM dial. Butch Everett here with you, along with Bob Morgan. Here we are on this Tuesday morning, the 10th day of September. It's now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup, and Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South, just down past McDonald's on the left-hand side. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. All right. We got Wayne County Sheriff in here, John Carter. What's going on, John?
Just glad to be here this morning. It's always a pleasure to be on the show. We're here to promote our 911 ceremony that takes place in the morning at in front of the courthouse in Jesup, Georgia.
All right. Well, Bob, go ahead.
8:30 tomorrow morning, is that correct?
I think it actually started, 8:30 a.m., right.
So tell us what all's going to take place.
Well, we got, let me give a little bit of history on it first, if you don't mind, Bob. We formed an honor guard at the sheriff's office about 5 years ago to take care of really law enforcement funerals. There was kind of a demand for it. Of course, when the American Legion can't fill in, or the military can't fill in, sometimes we have done a few military funerals, and they can do, flag foldings, they can do all that kind of stuff. But actually, Sergeant Crane and his crew, he's actually over the honor guard. They came up with the idea of wanting to do a 911 tribute ceremony, because as time goes on, the number of ceremonies you see a year is fading. It used to, I know y'all remember, after 9/11, 2001, we had ceremonies almost weekly, and then through the years we had them. You'd have several going on 9/11.
We even had that lady fire chief come down from the New York area.
Right.
It wasn't New York City, but it was like the Bronx or Queens, something like that. She came down, was in our Christmas parade that December.
Well, there was a lot more focus on it,
Yeah.
in the early years, but it's been, what's this, 18 years now?
Yeah, 18 years.
And if you think about it, we got kids that say were 6 years old. They're in their mid-20s now. They don't remember much about it. So I think it's important, that we, and that's the theme of the thing is, have you forgotten? And, and a lot of us have. And they don't seem to want to show any of the footage on it. And that, to me, that's wrong. I mean, I think you need to understand why we're still in Afghanistan, those places, whether you agree with it or not. Fact is, we're still fighting a war on terror. It's still happening in the United States. I mean, we got the Boston Marathon, several other things that have transpired by terrorists in our country, and it's important to remember those that day. But to answer your question, Bob, we got Chief Deputy Donnie Ray. Will be the master of ceremonies. This is our technically, we've been doing it 4 years. We missed 1 year because of hurricane. I believe it was last year or year before last. So this will actually be our third time doing the ceremony. But we'll have our invocation by our Sheriff's Office Chaplain, Keith Larisey. I'm not sure, since Bruce has gotten sick, I don't know if he's still going to do the national anthem or whether they've got somebody else to do it. I really haven't talked to Sergeant Crane, who's pretty much the organizer of all this stuff. But we'll have small presentations or speeches by Chief Lane and Chief Hargrove, Chief Lane of Jesup Police Department, and Chief Mike Hargrove of the Scriven Police Department. I will be doing a small presentation myself, as will the Fire Chief, Gene Lane, or his representative, and also our EMS Director, Richard Johnson. So we've got, the bell ring is the things that the fire department do. We're hoping we can get to do our 21-gun salute. We're running into a few problems there, but I think we'll have them ironed out. But that's our hope, that we'll be able to do that. Of course, like I say, the Wayne County Honor Guard, I think, Mr. Milton usually does the taps for us, and he's unavailable, but Reggie Burgess has agreed to fill in, and I've heard him at veteran stuff when he was at Arthur Williams. He does a tremendous job with it.
Okay,
Says
someone
right-
just texted in, I will be there. Whoever said, text that in, I will be there. Please put your name, okay? I don't know if it's Bruce or not. So
Okay.
someone just texted in, I will be there. So I don't know who said that, but go ahead, John.
All right. Well, if it is Bruce, I hope so. 'cause,
Well, we'll find
he
out in
does
just
a
a
good
moment.
job.
Yes, this is Bruce.
All right.
Bruce will
Thank
be
you,
there.
Bruce. Thank
Glad
you.
you're doing well, Bruce.
Yes, we are. I appreciate that. But I think it's just fitting that we pay tribute to the 3,000 plus people that died in New York, the field in Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon. We forget that we got hit in three places, or almost three places, thanks to some heroic people on aircraft over Pennsylvania. They saved part of Washington. We don't know where in Washington they were headed, but
And what I read on there, they had a picture of the Capitol building. The terrorists did, so I guess you could take a look at it and see, oh, that's it, let's go toward it. So it was just heroics by those folks on that Pennsylvania plane that possibly saved damage to the Capitol and lots of more lives.
well, and we watched that morning live on TV.
Yeah.
The towers fall. We saw the people running. We saw the survivors. We saw the heroes going in. We saw people running away, but we also saw people running in. Those things, and we do remember those people. And since then, you think about the number of people that have died from whatever breathing,
Respiratory problems.
that
Still
kind of
dying
stuff,
from that.
from cancers and stuff, whether policemen, firemen, EMTs, or paramedics, whoever it may be. Are still passing away from that. That event has not ended just because it was over with in 2001. We've suffered since then, and then also the men and women in the military that have lost their lives or been badly wounded in the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War, trying to keep it from happening in our country again.
Yeah, and we had a man here from the Jesup who died in it. I know that when I lived on Ivy Street in downtown Jesup, their son died. He was in one of the World Trade Centers, and it really affected them, of course, as it would anyone. But he was in the building and died that day. I'm not sure if he was in which tower he was in, north or south, but it was quite a traumatic day for everyone around the country.
It was, and and we were in a state of chaos basically for the first few hours, trying to figure out where we're going to get hit again, trying to figure out where to land Air Force One, where we could start to figure out what to do and when to do it. But I think all in all, to be hit hard as we were, I think the people in New York did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And as well as the military at the Pentagon. And of course, there wasn't a lot to do when they get but recovery at the field of Pennsylvania. But what they did to save that plane from getting to Washington was just just heroic.
Yes, it was. And so once again, y'all, the local law enforcement and first responders are having a ceremony tomorrow. Where and when and what's going to be going on?
It'll be in front of the courthouse, courthouse square, we kind of call it, where the veterans monuments are out front, the flagpoles out front. We'll be on that little sidewalk that goes into the front of the courthouse. And we will have, of course, we'll have everybody we've invited is on our list, and I wasn't going to read the list. It's kind of lengthy, but I did cover most of it there. But the whole thing should last about 35 minutes. And,
Okay. And what time does it begin tomorrow morning?
8:30.
8:30. Okay. And so everyone's invited to the 911 ceremony tomorrow morning at the Wayne County Courthouse beginning at 8:30. Should last about 30 minutes. And y'all have a very, very special moving ceremony there to honor those folks that were involved with that terrible tragedy that happened in America so many years ago.
It is, and we appreciate all the support you can get. Come out and support your law enforcement firefighters here as well, because they do a tremendous job protecting our community as well.
Okay. Bob?
Just appreciate him coming in, telling us all about it.
Well, you got the sheriff here now, so, any other questions you may have? No? John, that's got to be a first.
Yeah, it is. I'm what's the matter?
I think I asked him everything.
You
else
mad
on
with me,
your
Bob?
Usually he's got this list of other questions.
Just want to go with the joke. You're still running, so, right?
What?
Yeah.
Do what? Yeah. Oh, am I running?
You said you're still running, right?
Yes, I am running for the office of sheriff.
They still have all those rumors out there on social media that you're not
Well,
running,
I
that
know,
your
but
health's
they
bad, that you're dropping out of the race, all that good stuff.
Well, I hate to disappoint them, but
You
I
are
am
running.
going to run. I'm in it to win it, like I told you last time. I didn't put my name out there because I intend to drop out.
You know, you're talking about Facebook, or someone mentioned that to Bob, it was, the nickname is Face Crack. I had somebody on, I think Wednesday, when the hurricane came through, called the radio station. The lady called in that afternoon and said, well, I just want to verify something. It's going around on Facebook that school is not going to be back in session this week at all, and they don't know when it's going to be back in. And I said, well, I wouldn't believe that. She said, well, I just wanted to double check. I said, well, you know, it's called Face Crack for something. And she just started laughing. And people spread rumors around that thing on those social media sites, left, right, forwards, and backwards.
Well, they do, and I don't know if I mentioned it last time I was on, but I got kind of, well, I kind of chuckled about it because I read a lot of quotes, and this one was one by Mark Twain. He said that if you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed. But that applies to social media big time today.
I think that's more social media than it is newspaper. Oh, let's see here. Someone just texted in it to win it. Well, they just repeat what you said. So, yeah, they're agreeing with what you just said.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Must be a
that.
supporter out there.
Well, I hope so. I hope I got more than one, too.
You said you're trying to get the king side for what would be the problem with the 21 gun salute?
Uniforms right now.
Uniforms?
The hurricane we
we
got some new people on there, but we got everything else ready to go, and maybe I don't know how much they've had to practice the last week, but like I said, with the hurricane last week, but we're gonna probably give it a shot,
Yeah, someone just said,
so
yeah,
to speak.
21.
21 shot.
Yeah.
21
to be
shots.
exact.
Yeah.
Someone just said, yep, they're our supporter. So that's, who said in it to win it. So
Thank
it's a
you.
Supporter. All right. And so the ceremony tomorrow, what else is going on with the Sheriff's Department right now? Anything that we need to know about? Anything you working on?
I could tell you a lot,
You could
but I
tell me
won't
a
right
lot.
now. We do. We got a lot of things going on. We got ready for the hurricane, and now getting everything put back that we took out of mothballs and to
Right.
use and deployed at different parts of the county. So we're still trying to get all that put back up and still do our daily duties. And Monday after hurricane is busy.
Yeah. Well, we got lucky. Lucky that it was far enough out there in the
yes.
ocean.
Yes,
Unlike
yes.
Matthew 3 years ago, that was close enough that caused quite a bit of damage. Luckily for us, Dorian was way out there.
The big question I get asked all the time, like I said, I talked to Jackie. She says she's still waiting on some information from the GBI, but the harder shooting, no one's been charged with that. That's still under investigation. She says she's still waiting for ballistic reports from the GBI crime lab. So you got any update on that?
I do not. I thought it was going to grand jury.
That's what I thought.
Matter of
she
fact,
said,
this
right?
morning I thought, but I may be wrong. I haven't seen that list. But
That was the lady, she told me that she was going to take it to the grand jury. So people ask that question all the time about that shooting that took place. It's been quite a while now, but the man was shot, but nobody was.
well, they were waiting, or the GBI that did the investigation was waiting on the crime lab report on ballistics. Now I don't know.
That's the question I
what
asked you.
point.
They just opened the new crime lab GBI in Polar. Is that done what they hoped it would do? Would speed things up? And
I think it will once they get. I mean, they're having to hire scientists basically to be able to perform all these tests that they do. Now, whether they've got all of them hired, once they get them, they've got the room to do it now. They've got enough. The facility's big enough. They can hire more people to conduct the tests that they need to do.
so the grand jury meets this week.
I think it's today.
Okay. As there's several cases she's taken to the grand jury that I've been asking about. So I have to get back with her at the end of this week to find out.
I'm not sure. Of course, you'll have to get with them after today and find out what was Well, I guess it'll be tomorrow when they actually open the
For
indictments
people
in
that may
open
not know
court.
the
but-
process, like I said, the district attorney takes things to the grand jury. They seek indictments, then the indictments are opened in court by a
Yeah,
Superior
they're
Court
sealed.
judge.
They'll be
Right,
sealed after this
right.
morning. They'll be opened in
Yeah, you
court
gotta go to
probably
court.
tomorrow.
And the judge will come and open up the sealed indictments and read the indictments in court. So
Right.
that's when they become public. So
Right.
but there's
they'll do
several
it.
cases, like I said, I've been in contact with Jackie Johnson about, and like I said, she's saying she's taking these cases to the grand jury. So it'll be interesting to see if the indictments come from the grand jury.
Yeah, because
And then we'll have those for everybody here on our local news.
Yeah, because it'll be in open court. They'll either the judge announce whether it's true build or no build.
And I said, I know the harder cases are one. I said, the guy that set his house on fire is another. And that's another one she's taking to the grand jury. So we continue to follow those stories, keep everybody up to date. People ask all the time, where's this case? Where's that case? I said, the justice system moves very slowly. Would you agree?
Well, it does as far as getting evidence. You know, we can't get involved with that. And everybody's got that I want it now information, you know, because of Facebook and other things. And you can't do that when you're having to wait on scientific tests. You're having to, you know, make sure your evidence is there before you charge somebody.
I like they tell the jury all the time, this isn't Law and Order. They can't solve
Can't
it
do it in an hour.
Well, before commercial breaks.
Oh, now you know we talk about law enforcement in the sheriff's department and what you do to enforce the laws here in Wayne County, but a large part of the sheriff's department responsibilities is the courthouse. What all the sheriff's department do to make sure that things are running smoothly and y'all's responsibilities and duties of the sheriff's department with the court system here in Wayne County?
Well, number one is security. And of course, we're required to do a security plan after the shooting in Fulton County many years ago. The legislature passed a law that court security fell under the office of the sheriff, and we have to design a security plan and submit it to the Superior Court judge of our circuit, which is Judge Stephen Scarlett, and he reviews it. And if he's fine with it, then that's what we do. Now, the county commissioners have the authority to look at it. They can't have a copy of it, but they can look at it and give it, you know, they can't, nobody can get it outside our office,
Right.
basically.
Okay.
So, and then security, of course, we have our metal detectors. We have somebody at the door. We don't allow cell phones, or not supposed to. Some people try to sneak them in, but, you know, it's not a good thing to get caught with a cell phone in the courtroom. Judges frown on that, but those are things we do, but we also, you know, make sure that if you've got witnesses that have to be sequestered, you know, we make sure they're separated, defense and prosecution witnesses and that sort of thing. Get them back into the stand. I have a number of civilian bailiffs that attend to the juries if we have a jury trial. Mm-hmm. There's many things. It depends on how high profile case it is.
Y'all got to move the prisoners or whatever you want to back and forth from jail or wherever the case may be also, don't you?
If they're incarcerated, yes.
If
but
they are incarcerated.
if they're not, then we have to, you know, they come in their own bond, so they just report to the courtroom with their attorney usually. And we're there. We control most of the electronics in there as far as the Skyping. We do a lot of that. For example, many years ago, when we first put that in, God, it's been 8 years ago now, maybe 10, maybe even longer than that. I can't remember. But it's we had a particular case that the GBI had outsourced DNA to Utah. Rather than flying that chemist in from Utah, we Skyped it and saved the county that kind of money. That's the things that we look at and try to do. And we're working on some things with the jail to keep them having to transport, because our jail technically is about 6 miles from the courthouse. So that's 12 miles round trip that we are dealing with prisoners. And anytime you're moving prisoners, it's a security risk. But those are things we have to live with right now.
Now, with the newest courthouse we have, I know it's a lot more secure. Do y'all ever take a look at, well, this is a high-profile case, it's a murder case, it's a gang-related case. Does it get moved to Courthouse C because of security other than the old courtroom, or do y'all take a look at that?
Most of your cases now are in courtroom C, which is the new one, criminal cases. Now, state court does their misdemeanor court in the old courtroom.
Okay.
The historical courthouse,
Right.
as we call it. But most of the other cases go go there. We got holding cells in that building. We got a lot of things we don't have in the big courthouse.
Okay. And I just, a lot of folks may not realize that that's just a big responsibility of a sheriff's department in any county is all the court proceedings, leading up to it, during it, afterwards, and so forth. You have to put a lot of manpower into that to make sure everything runs smoothly and safe there in the courtroom.
And things I can't tell you. I mean, like our plans of who's responsible for what in the courtroom in case we do have an event happen, who's supposed to do what and where we going, how we getting people out of there, how we going to, handle those type of things. That's in our court plan. And so those are other things. We train on it as well, but it depends on, like I say, the high profile case. Is it, like you say, gang member? Is it murder? Or is it a low-grade felony where it's, maybe a force check or something? That depends on our security levels, what we feel like we need. Now, can anything happen? Of course it can. But, we don't, we got to go with the resources that we got. And we put a lot of time and effort in it, and we're technically having about anywhere from 20 to 26 days of court a month, or something in the courtroom requires us to be there.
Wow.
It may not be a judge there every time. It may be a defects hearing or something like that, but we got to be there.
Okay.
And I think drug court's today, right? Then they changed drug court to today. I believe that's what Francis told me yesterday. So,
I think so, but we got grand jury too, so I think drug court's going to be after that.
right. Looking for Judge Killing.
Because that also takes place in courtroom C.
Right.
Go find him.
All right. Anything else for our sheriff there, Bob?
No, just want to remind everybody about tomorrow. Again, 8:30 tomorrow. The special ceremony. Everybody's invited. That's the main thing. We just invite everybody.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll get a good crowd there to remember those that perished on that day.
It's the 9/11 ceremony tomorrow morning at 8:30 at the Wayne County Courthouse. You got a lot of folks are going to be there to participate with it. Ceremonial should last about 30 minutes. Everyone's invited.
And I paid again tribute to my honor guard that put this thing together, and they do it every year, and they do a tremendous job of getting everybody involved. And I appreciate the other agencies for participating in it too, as well as the Scribner Police Department, Jesup Police Department, Fire Department, EMA, EMS, all of them. I appreciate them participating.
And on your leaflet, you got the quote from President George Bush, and just want to close with that. He said, "That time is passing, yet for the United States of America, there will be no forgetting September 11th. We'll remember every rescuer who died in honor. We'll remember every family that lives in grief. We'll remember the fire and ash, the last phone calls, the funerals of our children." So again, that quote from President Bush after the attacks on September the 11th. So, and just as you mentioned, we don't want to forget, something to remember. As they say, we're still fighting the war on terror to this day. So something to just reflect and come and pay tribute to those who lost their life on that day.
Well, as long as we have those out there that wish to destroy us, we're going to have to fight terrorism, and it's still here. It's just, we haven't had that mass killing like we did on September 11th, 2001, but we've had it, like I say, I mentioned a marathon bombing, and there's been many, many others that have not been to that magnitude, but they're still terrorist attacks.
If you read stuff about what the law enforcement in America has done since 9/11, there's been a lot of instances where they have stopped it in advance. It never did come to fruition. No one was ever hurt. Through intel, they were able to make arrests, stop it way beforehand, or they could have been a lot of or other terrorist act that might have taken place.
And there's so many intel that we get that the public doesn't get that we know about that were stopped. I mean, that are still ongoing investigations, maybe.
Right.
We get calls from time to time from different federal agencies to about terrorist acts.
Right.
So.
Well, the other day we had Nick Ellison here from the Jesup Police Department, who's involved with the with the gang force there with the Jesup Police. Being in a small town, people don't realize there's 7 or 8 gangs here in Wayne County with different names, colors, all that kind of stuff, right?
That's true. And the fact is, you got them everywhere. Just the bigger you are, the more of them you got.
Right.
And but we got them here. Odom's got them, Scribben's got them. I mean, they're here.
Wow, it's hard to believe that in a small community that takes place, but they're everywhere. So parents and grandparents and guardians just need to be on the lookout. It's basically what Nick Ellis was saying, for changing behavior pattern, tattoos, wearing different colors, different habits the kids may be doing. Just watch that. All right, we had Sheriff John Carter in here this morning. Sheriff, hopefully it'll be a great ceremony. I know it will be tomorrow morning at 8:30 at the Wayne County Courthouse, 9/11 ceremony. Everyone's invited. It's a public event starting at 8:30 tomorrow morning to honor the victims and of 9/11, so we never forget what tragedy took place on that day.
Thank you, and I appreciate it and look forward to seeing everybody there.
Okay. All right. We'll be back more of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show in a moment.
South Georgia weather.
Here's your WIFO forecast. Hi, good morning. Mostly sunny, east breeze, a 30% chance of locally heavy afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mid-90s. 30% chance of evening showers and thunderstorms, low 70s for tonight. Tomorrow, sunshine, mid-90s. Thursday, sunshine, mid-90s. Friday, sunny, breezy, high, low 90s. Saturday, partly sunny, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Georgia meteorologist John Weatherby in the GNN Weather Center.
105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, 825 here on this Tuesday morning, 10th day of September. Bob, you'll be broadcasting a girls' softball game this afternoon, won't you?
If the weatherman permits. Hope we don't get that shower like we did yesterday. That was crazy.
Yeah, well, those always this time of year when it's this hot, you got those chances, those pop-up afternoon showers. That's just part of it. I know that you mentioned on your local news this morning, got a call from Tim Harris yesterday. They are putting together a shipment of lumber to go to the Bahamas. I know that last week we got a text from someone saying they were putting together a shipment of stuff, and Tim's very active down there in the Bahamas. Tim Harris is, and basically what they're saying right now is they got plenty of supplies, but they need lumber. So the Harris Ace Hardware is working with different mills to buy at cost and to be able to send down to the Bahamas on a ship that's going to be going out of the harbor soon. And you can make a tax-deductible donation to help purchase this lumber to send down to the Bahamas. You can send it to Harris Ace Hardware, Bahama Relief, P.O. Box 1135, Jesup, Georgia 31598, or you can drop off a check there at Harris Ace Hardware on West Cherry Street in Jesup. And they would like to have an idea whether you're going to send some money or not, so they can know how much lumber to get. You can call Tim on a cell phone at 91 or text him at 912-294-4689, 912-294-4689 on how much you want to give. And so they're putting this together to send as much lumber as they can down to the Bahamas to help them rebuild down there. But there's a lot of folks here in Wayne County that are stepping forward to be able to help out these victims, because it's like they say, it looks like a war zone down there. You know, thousands of people without homes, sanitation, food, water, the basic necessities of life. They just don't have it.
That's bad.
It is very bad. And so if you can possibly give any amount of money to be able to help out with this cause, drop off a check at Harris Ace Hardware or mail it to Harris Bahama Relief. It is tax deductible through their charity program they have there. P.O. Box 1135, Jesup, Georgia 31598. Or you can just call Harris Ace Hardware for more information, or call Tim at 912-294-4689. And please continue to pray for all those affected down there in the Bahamas. But he says they got lots of water, lots of food coming in. They need lumber supplies to start rebuilding everything. So they're trying to put that together, and they're they're getting with the mills and buying it and selling it at cost, and to try to help these folks out down there. All right. Well, Bob, tomorrow and Thursday morning, we're going to give away lots of tickets to the Georgia Tech Citadel game that'll be held this Saturday and I believe that's a 12:30 kickoff, if I wrote down correctly here. Yep, 12:30. Georgia Tech will be taking on the Citadel Bulldogs there at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta this Saturday. Kickoff will be at 12:30, and tomorrow morning and Thursday morning, we'll give away several tickets so folks can go see Georgia Tech take on the Citadel Bulldogs.
Sounds good.
Sounds good? All right. So what do you think of the Dogs so far? Only 2 games?
Going all the way.
Going all the way, huh? That was a real good game between Clemson and Texas A&M. I mean, Texas A&M played Clemson a lot closer than Alabama did last year.
We're going to play either Alabama or LSU. I still say it's Alabama, so that's my prediction.
That's your prediction?
Clemson's in. The winner of the Georgia-Alabama game gets in, and Ohio State, Oklahoma, and the loser of the Alabama-LSU games, only teams with a shot. Everybody else, forget it.
Just forget it, huh?
There's nobody else in the running, I don't think. That's just the way I see it.
Well, it's a shame the Jaguars.
I want a Georgia-Oklahoma finals. What I want.
Oh, you want Georgia-Oklahoma?
Yeah, I want to play Justin Fields against Jake Fromm. It'd be fun.
Oh, that would be fun.
Justin Fields has lighted it up at Ohio State. So
Ohio
be a great
State or
matchup.
Oklahoma?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
And Jalen Hurts is at Oklahoma. He's lighting it up too. But I'd like to see the former Georgia quarterback against the current Georgia quarterback. Be great TV. Ohio State's got a lot of talent.
Oh, they usually do.
I mean, they have one big game against Michigan, so they beat Michigan.
Well, sometimes Michigan State, but Michigan State's one of those teams that's up and down each year.
But
You got Penn State in there too, but
they don't look very good. So
yeah.
I call it the Big 2 Little 8. It's no longer the Big 10.
Yeah. And it's a shame that
But I like what I see in
Jacksonville
Georgia.
lost their quarterback.
Yeah, that was sad. Nick Foles out for 8 weeks, but they picked up Joshua Dobbs. So be interested to see who the start quarterback is. I'm sure it's going to be Minshew, the boy out of Washington State, but Joshua Dobbs is a good quarterback. So hopefully he'll get some playing time.
Okay. Well, Bob, anything else in your mind before we head out? Okay. Have a good day. World famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South, just down past McDonald's on the left-hand side. They got that new laser-guided automatic car wash. Does a fantastic job on cleaning your vehicle. Plus, they have two self-service bays at Nips Car Wash on Highway 301 South, right down past McDonald's on the left-hand.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.